Hello, and welcome to the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction's Career Readiness Standards Professional Learning Modules. In this sixth module, titled The Power of I Can Statements, we are going to move deeper into our work to explore and consider the how of bringing the Wisconsin Career Readiness Standards to life with students to help transform your system. To make the most of this learning experience, we encourage you to engage actively by taking notes and reflecting on how the content applies to your unique context. Pause the video whenever you need to process the information or dive deeper into the provided resources. If you're able, consider collaborating with colleagues or teams for richer discussions and shared insights. Finally, don't forget that resources and an optional participant workbook are available on the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction's WCRS webpage for your use. If you're looking for more support following your review of the modules, remember to follow up with your regional CISA for additional support. Let's take a moment to review today's learning objectives. In the previous modules, we've moved from the why of the Wisconsin Career Readiness Standards to the what, looking at the priorities and skills embedded within the standards. Today, we'll shift to the how. How do these standards translate into actual student learning outcomes? That process is centered on understanding the role of I can statements. By the end of this module, you will understand why I can statements matter for student engagement and ownership of learning. See how I can statements translate the WCRS into clear student-friendly goals. Explore how I can statements build progressions across grade levels, helping students move from surface to deep to transfer learning. And finally, recognize how I can statements support equity and improvement by making success criteria transparent for all students. Now that we understand why the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction created these I can statements, let's take a closer look at how they serve students directly. I can statements are designed to help students and the adults in your system understand what students are working toward in terms of career readiness. They make the standards tangible, providing clarity, direction, and ownership of learning across the K-12 journey. Their primary purpose is to give students clear and actionable learning goals, breaking down larger standards into manageable, digestible steps. Whether students are mastering specific skills or building knowledge toward a long-term career goal, I can statements help them track their own progress and take ownership of their learning. These statements act as a roadmap for students, ensuring they know what's expected of them while also helping educators gauge where extra support might be needed. It's all about creating a clear, supportive pathway to career readiness, with students fully engaged in the process. While I can statements are specifically designed to be student-facing, meaning they are written in language that students can easily understand and engage with, the intention behind them and their inherent accessibility grow the capacity of both students and teachers to engage with the WCRS. To prepare students for their careers, learning must be seen as a progression. The WCRS I can statements build from kindergarten through 12th grade, beginning with foundational knowledge and advancing toward mastery and application. This connects to surface, deep, and transfer learning, which can occur at any stage of development. Younger students may demonstrate surface learning by building vocabulary, deep learning by applying career awareness to community roles, or transfer learning by connecting science lessons to environmental careers. As students grow, these types of learning become increasingly complex. The I can progressions reflect this, aligning with child development to ensure skills and dispositions for career readiness grow more sophisticated over time. Ultimately, the goal is for every student to graduate with the ability to apply knowledge, skills, and dispositions across contexts, fully preparing them for career, life, and learning success. The WCRS I can statements are designed as progressions that grow with students from kindergarten through 12th grade, moving from foundational knowledge toward mastery and application. So now let's actually apply this and see what this looks like in action. Let's take CAR 1B, Career Awareness, as an example. In the early grades, the I can statements focus on simple awareness, such as recognizing different community roles. As students advance, they build deeper understanding by exploring career clusters, identifying personal interests, and making connections across subjects. By high school, they are applying this knowledge to evaluate career options and make informed decisions about their futures. This illustrates how surface, deep, and transfer learning look different at every stage of child development. For younger students, deep learning may mean applying career awareness to community roles, while transfer learning in this case might involve linking science lessons to those careers. For older students, these progressions become more sophisticated, supporting complex decision-making and lifelong readiness. The goal is to ensure that by graduation, every student has the skills and dispositions needed to navigate career pathways with confidence. Now that we've looked at the creation of I-CAN statements and their progression, let's consider how we measure progress toward these outcomes. First, we need to be mindful of bias and inequities. Students come with different experiences and resources, and our measures must be fair and equitable for all learners. To capture progress, we should use data-driven tools such as proficiency scales, performance-based assessments, and authentic tasks. The focus is not on whether students participated in an activity, but whether they can actually demonstrate proficiency in the skill of interest. These measures should guide next steps in instruction and support. At the same time, data can help students set personal career goals, giving them ownership and agency over their learning. For some students, WCRS progressions can also support high-leverage IEP goals and transition planning for students living with disabilities. When it comes to measuring I-CAN statements, we can align our approach with Wisconsin's Multi-Level Systems of Support, or WIMLS, framework. The WIMLS framework is grounded in continuous improvement, which directly supports how we reflect on and measure student outcomes. By focusing on key features of the framework, such as high-quality instruction, equitable access, and data-based decision-making, we ensure that I-CAN statements are not static declarations. Instead, they become part of a dynamic, evolving process that adapts to meet the changing needs of our students. Reflecting on these statements as part of our continuous improvement process allows us to assess how well our instructional strategies and professional development efforts are supporting student success in all areas, but also in the area of career readiness. This approach helps us fine-tune our practices, making sure that we are consistently providing the best possible learning environment and experiences for our students. As we prepare to wrap up Module 6, we want to think more about the I-CAN statements by reflecting on how they personally relate to you and your own context. We are going to take some time to reflect on the statements provided and their alignment with your district's priorities and practices. How can these statements support your students in their journey toward career readiness? This time for reflection will set the stage for more advanced work in later modules, where we'll dive into full systemic analysis activities. You'll have the opportunity to apply these I-CAN statements to your own system, identifying actionable steps to bring them to life for your students. For now, let's take the time to reflect and answer these questions individually before moving on to discussing responses with your team. Developing and utilizing student I-CAN statements is not something to take lightly, and it is important to gain team consensus about their power, applicability, and use before advancing to additional modules. There is space within the optional participant workbook to record your key takeaways and insights as a team. We recommend pausing the recording here to engage individually and as a team in these important discussions. Welcome back. Today, we looked at how I-CAN statements bring the Wisconsin Career Readiness Standards to life. They make big standards approachable by turning them into student-friendly language, helping students see themselves in the learning, take ownership, and understand what success truly looks like in the area of career readiness. When we use I-CAN statements consistently, they provide a common thread across grade levels, ensuring all students in every classroom have access to transparent goals and equitable opportunities to grow in the rare areas of career, learning, and life readiness. This is why I-CAN statements matter. They turn the standards into clear, student-friendly goals, support student ownership, build learning progressions, and promote equity through transparent student success criteria. As we move into the next module, we'll explore how these statements connect more deeply to system-wide alignment, adult practices, and systemic continuous improvement. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again in Module 7.